When I looked up, I had a crowd of about 40 people around me.
Chris Herren has told his story hundreds of times, as he did in Spokane to kick off Hoop Fest weekend.
And I looked at the police officer and I said, tell me what happened, what's the problem? The police officer looked at me and said, Christopher, what's the problem? Look at your arm, son. I looked down to my right and my arm was covered in blood and there was a needle still in it.
And the story never changes.
At 24 years old, I became a convicted felon. At 24 years old, I became a publicly known heroin addict.
But each time he tells it, he says, feels like the first time.
You know, I'm always nervous. I always say a prayer before I go on.
For an hour or more, he lays himself open in front of strangers.
It's never easy. I don't go into this trying to fluff myself. You know, this is strictly a beating, and it should be.
He tells them how he went from a high school basketball star who drank beers and smoked pot to a college star with a bigger problem.
I was sitting in the parking lot watching 15,000 people walk into this arena to watch me play on national TV, drinking Budweisers and banging lines of Coke with two girls I had never met before.
How he played professionally in the NBA and then in Europe and switched to Oxycontin and then to heroin.
I bought all 15 balloons of black tar heroin that day, and he reached in his pocket, he pulled out a spoon, he pulled out a syringe, and he started cooking dope on my front seat. At 24 years old, sitting in my car, dope sick, playing professional basketball in Italy, I rolled up my sleeve and I let that man shoot me up.
Chris Herren's story is so powerful that he was asked to tell it at the NFL Rookie Symposium.
I'm looking at RG3 sitting here, you know, a kid from Notre Dame to my left, and, you know, I'm touching on stuff having to do with substance abuse. And I said to them, there's more addicts in the room right now than there are Pro Bowlers. You know what I mean? Ask Ryan Leaf that. Ask Ryan Leaf if he sat through that rookie symposium and what his opinion was of it.
But it's in front of crowds like this one that he gets the strongest reaction.
My belongings at 27 years old was $17, a 10, a 5, and two $1 bills with a wife and two children.
It's here that his emotion is reflected in their eyes.
4 years earlier, I heard my name in the starting lineup for the Boston Celtics. 3 years earlier, I was making $500,000 in Italy, and now all I have is $17 to my name.
It's here that it's hardest for Chris Herren to tell his own story.
If you have my angle, you're looking at a woman with her son on the side crying, you know, to my right, and over here there's an older woman with her older daughter crying. So you see these things, and they affect you emotionally, you know.
By the time he's through, there is a connection. Strangers have become friends.
I'll stay until the last person leaves because I don't want anyone walking away from this thinking, you know, he's full of shit.
With each talk in each town, he says, he makes a special connection.
I heard, as I said, the mother with the son and the mother with the older daughter, both struggling tonight in those hugs, and that matters.
A connection that sometimes lasts well after he's moved on to the next town.
I signed their ball and I put my number and my email on it, you know. That's what it's about, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, if we're not going to help each other, who will?
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was an honor. Thank you for letting me share my story. Thank you for letting me tell it.